Hey all, this is Rev, and this week we're going to be talking about an interesting alternative to avoid having a demo for your game, a crazy mind reader that's sticking it to the man, and a survival horror game that I really want to play. This is episode 6 of Indie Game Riot.
Indie Game Riot! Hey everybody, it's JaShinYa here with the 6th episode of Indie Game Riot. 6 whole episodes, gentlemen.
Yep. It's been fun.
Well, to make it sound like we're dying, it's been a good life.
Yeah.
What do you want to say, Tekado?
Nothing.
Rev. Someone was talking. Just speak your mind. Spit it out now.
I don't know.
I've had a good week.
All right,
I've had a pretty good week
I
too.
think it was Reverend talking. So I always let Tekado go first.
Yeah, that's true.
It's because he's the good guy. Remember?
Yeah, you bastard. So get your crap out now.
I've actually had a pretty decent week. Played a couple of games that have recently been released, and had a bit of fun playing through those. Some of them more difficult than others, and just kind of hanging out and trying to find things to talk about. This week has been relatively slow on the news front.
Well, get a better life. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
Let me just run out and grab a job off the job tree.
Yeah.
How about you?
Might want to. Oh, how am I?
Yeah.
How am I? Well, I've been busy just finalizing schedules and talking to a bunch of people for Origins Game Fair because I'm going there.
I feel like you've been talking about that for the past 2 months.
I've been talking about that kind of, but see, now I've been in contact with a lot of different people because I'm finally starting to piece together all these fans of this game that I've kickstarted, and I've been having to send out a bunch of emails all over the place, and it's on an email that I don't check very often, and so that can be a little bit hectic.
Well, maybe you should check it more often. Problem solved. Bam.
Well, I mean, it's not. I use Yahoo.
Look at
Mail.
me. I'm like Dr. Phil up in this place. Like I'm.
Yeah, really. It's like, I use Yahoo Mail for like all my personal stuff, and then I use Gmail on a different browser for all the other stuff that I do, and sometimes I don't open Chrome.
Actually,
so.
I send all my junk to a Yahoo email account because Yahoo sucks, and that's all I gotta say.
I've been using Yahoo since like 2004, so I mean, like it's less of a hey, I like Yahoo, and more of a I don't want to have to deal with giving everybody a new email address.
Yeah, there's that problem too.
You know what you do with if you've got the Gmail, you can set up the tags for it. Like it's really simple. You've got this con coming up. What was it called again?
Origins.
So, Origins.
You could
plus
forward
tech,
your mail.
Origins plus tech at gmail.com or whatever your email address is, and you just give that out, and it comes in and it's automatically routed to you. It's really simple to
I see where you're going with that.
Go with that. Like I still do that. I keep a Hotmail account that I've had since like '98, just for spam purposes and signing up for random stupid stuff. But I never check that. Like it's once in a blue moon. Everything goes to my primary Gmail account, and then I just hand it out based on tags. So my landlord needs an email to tell us that they're fumigating something. It's landlord plus my email address, and it comes in. It's an awesome feature.
Welcome to the Help Desk podcast from Reverend.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone with IT questions, just call in right now.
I mean, he's been having to fight with Time Warner Cable, so.
Yeah, if Reverend's internet cuts out, we'll continue on, and this is not Saving Private Ryan. We will move on. Sorry to say.
How about Josh?
As for me, since you so kindly asked,
I was getting there.
Yeah, it's been kind of slow, but tomorrow I'm planning on going. There's like a street fair in town. It's like it's a street fair, and it's like whatever you buy goes towards supporting the local hospital. And I'm like, the charity. That's more
charity. You're such
overpriced items.
It's more about the food, really. That's yeah. But I'm planning on going that tomorrow, so it'll be fun. I'm hoping there's like funnel cake. I've been craving that as of recent.
Funnel cake is crave worthy.
Funnel cake is pretty good.
Yeah, funnel cake. And I'm a little bit worried about because I'm sorry if I sneeze in your ears, all over your ears, because the allergies are still killing me. But other than that, yeah, I'm kind of with Reverend. I need a more exciting life.
I've been keeping pretty busy, so.
Just rub it in, thanks.
Yep. No, I will.
Yeah, I'm so much more engaged with society. Blah blah blah. Well, speaking of engaged with society, this has nothing to do with the next segment, but I think we should move on anyway to Indie News Injection.
Are you bored with the same old games?
Yeah.
Why, then give yourself an Indie News Injection.
Thanks, Indie Games.
Have you ever wanted to get money back from a game that you didn't like playing?
All the time.
At least
Airships is a game that is currently trying something new out. Instead of buying a demo of the game, there is a money-back guarantee where if you do not like the game, instead of maintaining a demo, you can get your money back.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard about this with any other type of game. And the game looks really cool, if I do say so myself. Like, I thought we had talked about it at some point, but I guess
we didn't.
Haven't?
No,
we haven't talked about airships.
I think you
Not
put it
here.
on the Reddit or something like that.
Oh yeah, that must have been it. Well, anyway, Airships is a strategy game. It's the 8-bit style with very simplistic graphics in the 2D format, but it looks relatively complex. I haven't personally played it. It's by a single guy, David Stark, and he wants you to buy his game at full price, or he will give you your money back if you don't like it. It doesn't seem to be on Steam either, so it looks like you can buy it through PayPal, which is a little bit sketchy.
Well, out of curiosity, why specifically would he go this route? I mean, a demo's fairly easy. Take a level of your game.
I think from the sounds of it is he doesn't want to put up he doesn't feel like that he can release a demo that would either give enough of an idea to the player without ruining the experience. Because it's like when you watch a movie trailer and it's like, here's all the funny parts, now watch all the filler in between when you pay $20 for the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like that. He doesn't want to do that to people, but in my mind, I think the bigger worry on his side of things, without a demo, how can you really market it, especially as an indie dev?
Right, exactly. Okay. And the reason why he's doing this all himself is because the refund policies on different game stores is, different, complicated, so to speak. And I also think he's doing this because it's not quite even in an alpha build yet, but he wants to get it out there. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good move, because we always talk about games being early release or early access or alpha and beta versions. But if the experience of the game is so integral that playing a demo won't capture it, then are you going to be able to play a development build that in 6 months goes into alpha? Exactly, but then in 6 months after that goes into beta and then gets released in a year.
I feel like the best course of action at this point, if he wants to do this kind of thing, maybe especially this early, if he's not even willing to call it alpha yet. First of all, it's not. If it's not an alpha yet, I think you're maybe rushing it if you're trying to get it out there already. But if you're going to do this, then why even charge people in the first place? Why not just put it out for free other games have done this. They give you the game for free just to get the attention, that they need to for their company or for themselves as a developer, and then people will play it and say, hey, this is awesome. A lot of people will give donations, and later on they release it on Steam or something like that, and people are willing to buy it because they want to support the dev, and then it gives you a reputation for future games as well. So why not do that instead? Yeah,
that would be a good idea.
I could see that, but at the same time I like the enterprising and ingenuity of this method. Like, I think there's some things you could do to make it seem like, to those of us that are, the jaded and cynical, there's a couple of things you might be able to do to make it seem a little bit less shady. But I kind of like the idea of that. Like, I would have no problem, as long as there's that absolute money back guarantee, and I'm okay with it. I don't see any problem with it.
I also think that this is like the time where that would work. Because if you have a fully developed game, you've already spent so much money and so much time on it, and it's done. And then people start buying it, you're like, instead of, having a demo, it's going to be a money-back guarantee. And then all someone has to do is play it for 3 hours, be like, all right, that was enough for me to complain about it, even though I liked it. Give me my money back, man. And
that's what I'm saying, too. Like, if that's, I bet a lot of people do that. They'll play it, okay, I'm done, can I have my money back? I'm not saying everyone's going to do that, but a lot of people are going to do that. So if that's going to happen again, why not give it away for free? Because, like, for instance, Pixel Piracy. You guys heard of that?
Yeah.
Pixel Piracy pirated their own game, which is obviously legal because it's their game. But they put it out on the Pirate Bay for people to torrent. And they mostly, because one, they care about their consumer. Because they were like, well, if you're going to pirate it anyway, because, a lot of people are, at least get it from a safe file. One that is legit. And two, they're not, of course they want profit because they want to expand their company, they want to create new games, they want to be able to live. But two, again, they just want the attention so that when they create future games or continue to sell Pixel Piracy, because Pixel Piracy is now on Steam, which a lot of people buy and support because it's a good game, then I stick by my guns and think that that's the kind of way this guy should go.
Well, actually, though, he's kind of taking this a similar way that Minecraft did, because Minecraft was in pre-alpha when it was released.
Yeah, was it pre-alpha? I thought it was just alpha.
Well, it didn't hit alpha because you had InfDev, which was basically the first survival build of Minecraft that had trees and grass, and then later on cows and pigs were introduced, and then the zombies and the creepers and the skeletons, and then by that point you're in alpha, and then there were alpha builds until I think 2011, and then there were beta builds until 2012. Correct me if I'm getting the dates wrong here, but this game currently in Minecraft's dev phase is the same price as Minecraft was for $5, and you get every single update for free. So we have seen this campaign work.
We haven't seen the money back guarantee side of it, though, and
that is very true.
That's what changes this, I think, and that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that because I did play Minecraft. I came into it just before it turned beta,
right?
And I now own multiple copies. I think I've got it on Steam and Xbox, and my wife has a copy for tablet.
They have it on Steam,
or.
Well, PC,
internet, PC, internet. What am I talking about?
I think Minecraft is a little bit different though, because Minecraft's just the type of game. What blew up Minecraft was YouTube. People were playing it, and it's so open world and so just everything. It's always new every single time you play it.
Right.
So I think that kind of game helped it in that way. I think if it was more linear or like this, where it's just not what's the word I'm thinking of? Where it constantly changes every time you play it.
Procedurally generated.
Thank you. Procedurally generated. I think that's not going to work as well for this game, even with the money-back guarantee. People were excited about Minecraft already. They found out these games and it spread like wildfire. Airships has not. I haven't heard of it until you just told me. But then again, maybe, it is pre-alpha and you just told me about it, so now I've heard about it.
Yeah,
so maybe
exactly.
there is that. But I have a hard time. I'm going to be a cynic on this, and I have a hard time that's going to spread like that.
Well, let's see what happens with it. I'm willing to give it a follow-up and keep an eye on it. And, honestly, I like the idea. I really like the idea of a game developer saying, you know what? I like this I so believe in this project that you can buy it from me and you can keep it as long as you want, and if you don't like it, you just turn it back. We'll just give you your money back. That to me says a lot. That says this guy is developing with passion, and to me that passion is important.
I see what you're saying there too, and I agree actually with that the money back thing, and it is kind of nice to see, and I wish every game studio would do that, because there are definitely games that I wish I had my money back on.
Yeah.
Just crap that people have thrown out there.
Mm-hmm.
And just to clarify too, even though I'm being cynical about this, doesn't mean you listeners out there, doesn't mean I don't think that you shouldn't go and support this guy. I think
it looks really cool.
I think you should go check out the game and give it a try, because prove me wrong. We are in support of indie devs, and if this guy succeeds, that's great. That's just another great indie game being added to the community. So go and support the guy, prove me wrong, and hopefully have fun. Yeah, so also, since we were talking about Minecraft, actually, that brings us to the next news topic.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah, recently, Minecraft updated their EULA, which stands for...
End User License Agreement.
Thank you, I was having a brain fart.
Yeah.
End User License Agreement, which basically is... the main part that everyone's concerned about is the part that's talking about making money from Minecraft code, Minecraft related things.
Wait, just to clarify, you said they recently updated it, yeah?
Well, you're right. It's by the time this episode comes out, it should be updated.
It should be. So prior to the day of recording, the last update was December.
Right. I heard that the big announcement is coming tomorrow. That's going to clarify a lot of things, but basically this has been going crazy, especially on Twitter. It's been going crazy because obviously there are whole YouTube channels dedicated to Minecraft, and at first they were worried about, like, oh, what does this mean for YouTube channels? Does that mean we can't use AdSense on these videos anymore? It came as a shock to everyone, because Minecraft has always been a huge supporter of the community and community-made things for Minecraft.
That's why it's so big.
Right. But that doesn't seem to be the issue that they're talking about. I'm pretty sure that Let's Plays are going to be fine. They're going to still let you monetize that sort of stuff.
I've read the EULA, and they actually talk about videos right here. Within reason, you're free to do whatever you want with the screenshots and videos of the game. By within reason, we mean that you can't make any commercial use of them or do things that are unfair or adversely affect our rights. If you upload videos of the game to a video sharing and streaming sites, however, you are allowed to put ads on them.
Right, and actually what they're going to do is they've always had that language in there talking about using Minecraft for some sort of income. I think what they're doing is they're changing it so that way it can protect. What they're doing is protecting the consumer of the game from things like servers that are exploiting donations. Because what's been happening is that servers have been, they've always lasted because, unless the person's rich, they've always lasted because of donations. People love the server, they donate. However, most people don't donate just for nothing, because we're all greedy bastards.
Exactly.
So, what they do is they offer incentives to donate. A lot of the servers, have like little mini games that people have invented in Minecraft. And so just to give an example, one of the incentives might be to cut in line to be in one of those mini games. Like 100 people are waiting to play this mini game in the server. So the people that have paid a subscription of,
for a donation.
Right.
Donation is what I meant, of $20 or so will be able to jump ahead of everyone.
Yeah, and that's fairly common around most games. Like PlanetSide 2 has that for continents that are full. I'm pretty sure that a lot of other online games have that to where, you're a member of the game, you've given us money, you get preferential treatment, which it makes sense. It incentivizes both, supporting a game or a server that you like, and also gives you some stuff to play around with. And
that's not the issue. The issue is not that they're doing that. The issue is that there are servers out there who are exploiting it by saying by wanting like $500 for this. And basically Mojang has probably been getting tons of emails, calls, whatever, from angry parents of kids who like stole their credit cards, and they're like, what is this $500 charge for a freaking Minecraft server? And of course they don't know about the third party.
Right.
It's a private server.
They don't know that Mojang has nothing to do with this. But
I think that's also why they have a lot of within reason stated in the EULA. Like I kind of like let's say, actually that would be illegal, I think. But Josh, let's say that you or I are holding a contest on our YouTube channel. Mm. And this is where it gets fuzzy. I'm kind of changing around the direction of different things in the EULA here. But let's say you and I are holding a contest on one of our YouTube channels, and one of the prizes is a copy of Minecraft.
Right. And that actually technically goes against the EULA, because you're not allowed to... Actually, no, it's not.
No, you would be fine with that.
Because you're not making money from that. The problem is reselling it.
The problem comes in if I happen to have mined out a ton of diamond, and I'm offering to sell pre-made diamond armor for $10 donation. Yeah. Now I'm making money from the content of the game. That's where it crosses the line. Right. That's what really is.
So there's those types of things. There's donations to the server for incentives. There's that sort of thing of, it's basically gold mining, kind of like, I don't know if you've played like MMOs and WoW and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
People gold mining and stuff like that, although that has to do more with hacks too. But either way, it's still they're gaining. A lot of people are making a living from this. Right. Now, the problem that everyone's freaking out about now, after people have calmed down a little bit, okay, they're starting to get their facts straight. The problem that we don't know about, and we're hoping is clarified when they make the actual announcement, is it going to be an all-encompassing, when they change the language, is it going to be an all-encompassing enforcement of the rule? Because that's the thing, they've never really enforced it either. Now they're enforcing it. And they're worried that the enforcement is going to not only stop the bad servers from exploiting people, but also hurt the ones that are taking donations, the ones that are barely just keeping online. They're big servers, but they only accept donations, and they only accept small donations people get for their incentives, just enough to keep the server online. They're not making a living, and there are some that are actually doing better too. But the ones that are barely, keeping it on there, they're just doing it so everyone can have fun. If it's all encompassing, those servers are going to just get destroyed. By the end of the month.
Another thing that, and this is just sort of like blurring the lines here. What about the companies that own the servers that are running Minecraft?
And it's a little bit of a domino effect that way.
Well, exactly, because if the language, what we're trying to get at here is that the language in the EULA isn't quite clear. Because what if I own a server rack in my basement, and it's got the right type of internet connection, and I have it with enough memory and a good enough processor to run JavaScript. And for those of you who don't know, Java, which is what Minecraft runs on, is extremely oh my god, it's ridiculously resource expensive. And let's say that I have a client who's like, all right, I want to pay you $35 a month to host a Minecraft server on that piece of machinery. Then I have to maintain.
Those servers don't actually have anything to do with the EULA because they're not making money from Minecraft. They're just saying host your Minecraft game here.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? So I mean that's not the issue. They're going to still get hurt because these companies or these servers are no longer going to be able to afford to pay their subscription to those servers that they're being hosted on. But the actual people that they're paying for that service are the ones that are more directly tied in with the EULA because they're not only making money to keep the site on those servers, but also money for themselves, which are the ones that they're worried about. But the ones that, like you're saying, they're the ones that are barely making it, just keeping it on. They're gonna fall. They're gonna crash and burn at the end of the month. That's going to hurt the community a lot because Minecraft doesn't have their own servers. I wish they did because it's a pain in the ass trying to get a server set up.
They do.
They are. They're releasing their own server farm for it,
but not yet. Is what I'm saying.
That's true.
And that's actually going to hurt those people too because people are like, well, forget it now. We can use our. But what we're hoping is what I was trying to get at is that instead of that all-encompassing like hand of God, just squish everyone. I think hopefully what they're going to do is more
a surgical strike.
Yeah, just removing the ones that are issues instead of everyone.
Right. And I think we can, from what we've seen in the past, I think that we can trust Mojang to not make irrational decisions about their game and the community behind it,
especially since with their history of the support of the community.
Right, exactly. So it would be a surprise to me if all of a sudden there's this huge blow to the community and thousands upon thousands of Minecraft players can't get on their favorite server, whether they've paid for it or not, or bought donated to those servers or not. So it's definitely something we have to wait to pan out, but
we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. By the time this episode airs, people will know what they actually mean. And Rev, you really haven't gotten a chance to put your 2 cents in on this much.
Yeah. Honestly, it doesn't really affect me because I only play it on my Xbox. So it's one of those things where I'm kind of taking a back seat on it, just because I've been reading through the Planet Minecraft forum thread that was discussing all of this, and was just basically kind of browsing through and seeing it seems like it's a lot of panic history, oh my god.
Well, it's the internet. People are gonna freak out no matter
exactly. It's and at this point in life, I'm kind of taking those panic things a bit more grain of salty.
So basically what you're saying is that you're blind to the issue.
I am blind to the issue.
Oh, look at that smoothness.
That was super smooth. Almost as smooth as this beer. It's called She-Goat.
Brought to you by She-Goat.
Not an actual sponsor.
Buy us Domino's. Not a sponsor.
We talked about Accessibility Jam 2014 not too long ago, and it has now been closed. I'm sorry, say that?
Sorry, I bumped the microphone. It was like, all right.
So Accessibility Jam, as you remember, we were talking about it. It's built in mind of various disabilities and disability levels, blindness, hearing issues, cognitive issues, physical, motor skills, and inclusive aspects. And they released the secret ingredient, and that was trust. And so they basically went out. They just barely closed it just a day or two ago as of this recording. And there were 19 total games that were submitted on this. There were a couple that I really, really liked. There were a couple that had some really cool concepts. There was one that was called DF Valkyrie. It's kind of a Star Foxian third-person rails shooter that is actually controlled by eye tracking movement for those that don't have arms or, something like that. They did build in keyboard controls for it as well, if you happen to be playing it on a device that can't track your eye movement. But I played through... Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like that would be kind of hard. Because obviously it's hard, but like the eye tracking movement thing to control your ship, right? But in those games, you kind of have to look ahead of your ship.
I haven't actually given this one a playthrough yet. It's on my list. Unfortunately, they offer downloads to eye tracking software with the game, so it'll turn a webcam into a kind of simplified eye tracking device. So I want to give that a try before I really comment on it, but everything I saw on it said it was pretty good. There were a couple of good games that were put out. There was one that I adored for being what it was. It was called D-LINB, so blind, but with some dyslexia issues. And it was basically an interactive story. There was a bit of
just got that, by the way.
I did too. I was like, the entire time I'm reading in the notes, I'm like, D-limbed?
D-limbed?
Yeah.
D-limbed.
But it was tagged for vision issues, and it was an interactive story. You wake up in a room, and you have the option to look around, and the door is locked, and how do you get through that? And you kind of have to play a mental map in your head. There's almost nothing on screen when you have an option that's presented to you. Up and down, enter makes the positive selection, and X makes the negative selection. And other than that, it's just your arrow keys, and you have to get out of the house. And it was a lot of fun. The guy that made that, I can't think of his name right off the top of my head, but he was the narrator for it. Had a bit of an accent, but all in all, it was good. It was not bad. There were a couple that were actually bad. Okay, let me rephrase. There were a couple that I didn't appreciate.
There were a couple that needed improvement.
Yes. There was one called Deep Dark Underlands, and
I was going to bring this one up if you didn't, but I was planning on you doing that. So,
it was one of those really simplistic games that just it was a single button game, and it was the developer says he tagged it for those with motor function issues. So I can appreciate that, and the color choices that he made was for the game itself was specifically designed for deuteranopy, or however you pronounce that version of color blindness, because not all color blinds are the same. And the controls were wonky, the timing was awkward, the game itself was extremely simple. You go from the bottom of the screen and you press your one button and your character jumps, and when you hit other ground-looking type things, you jump again. And your goal is to reach to the top of the screen and collect diamonds and dodge monsters.
So I mean, would it be better for cognitive issues?
Honestly,
if it's that simple, you know what I mean?
If it was more polished, I would say yes. My biggest problem with it is trying to put myself into the mindset of I'm not capable, I'm cognitively not capable of playing another type of game. Am I really going to have that same cognitive ability to better judge when to start a jumping combo to get to the top of the screen? It kind of seemed like a good idea that just wasn't really well implemented.
Yeah, I got it.
It was much more timing based than you would think. There was a couple of others that were also really good. I think one of my favorite ones, there were two more that I really kind of wanted to talk about. One of them was called Ears Have Eyes, and it was kind of it was not an interactive story. You're basically in a open room maze without walls. At least that's how I imagined it. And your controls are WAS and D and the mouse, so it's basically a first-person shooter. But there is somewhere in this room that you are in a music cue you have to get to. And the only way that you navigate it, just like any other first-person game on the PC, but the only clues that you have is which direction the sound is coming from and how loud it is or how quiet it gets. And it's really kind of an interesting thing. Like, I don't have the best setup for sound quality, so for me it was, a lot of trial and error. Oh, if I turn to the right, if I move my mouse to the right, does that change it slightly more or not? And
yes,
go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I feel like that would take, I feel like that would be really, what's the word? It would be really tedious.
I actually had fun with it. I will say that. Now, I did have, if you're looking for action pack and a deep, intense storyline, and then definitely not for you. But it honestly, it wasn't super tedious, and the music that they had was also worthwhile. It was a lot of fun to go through and just listen to the music as you're trying to track through it. I do wish that the music had been longer or been on some form of a loop for each level, because there were a couple of levels where I'm not sure if I just got so far away from it that it dropped out entirely or it ended. Something to clearly indicate the end of a song would be a good idea for that. But it was actually easier for me to play it with my eyes closed. I played a couple of rounds on it, and once I was looking at the wall behind my computer, and the other time I played with my eyes closed, and I actually had an easier time with my eyes closed.
You have to use your imagination.
Well,
that's
yeah,
probably
kinda
how it might have been developed.
Well,
and I would also probably attribute the fact that the music stops to either a bug in the coding or probably just not enough testing. But I mean, these games, like, from what I'm gathering, these games were not made at high budget for a schedule that was
3 months long.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Well, what was your favorite one out of the whole thing?
My favorite game out of all of them that I've played is called Trust, and this game kind of copped out a little bit as we were talking before the show. It was designed completely in grayscale, so everyone who has vision can see the game. It's not highly detailed, so those that have worse vision can still see what's going on. It really pulled the level of that secret ingredient of trust into it. You're running around this dungeon, castle-y, whatever, building, and you're trying to get out, and your only source of information is 3 ghosts or 3 invisible friends that you can ask individually in each area, and they all 3 have something different to say. Like the first room, you press number 1 to talk to the first guy, and he's like, oh, the first drop is great, and the second one says, no, it's the second one, they'll get us safe, and then the third one's like, just keep going all the way to the right and jump into the door there. And they change based on, which room you're in, and you can kill them off accidentally, and you really have to kind of decide, like, which one do I listen to? How can I test who's telling the truth and who's not?
Kind of reminds me of that puzzle of, like, I've seen it implemented a bunch of different ways, but for instance, there are like 5 portraits of the same woman but with different colors, and it's like, one says, the one in the green is a liar. You can't believe her. And the one in green's like, yellow always tells the truth. And yellow's like, well, red told you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No, it's very much like that. I don't think I've actually beaten the game Trust. I got to a room that was empty and it was just me, so I'm taking that as being, I beat it. And
done screwed up.
Yeah, I know. At one point, I ended up with all 3 of my invisible ghost friends being dead through the use of potions.
You sick, murdering bastard.
I
You killed the ghosts again.
They told me to drink the potions, or at least the guys that I was listening to did. So, no, it was really fun. It was very simple game. The controls are arrow keys and Z, and that's all you need. You know, so for motor control, there wasn't a lot of fine-tuned platforming. You know, it's none of this Super Meat Boy. I have pixel perfect, reach. It's very. It's decent with cognitive. You don't have to be able to hear anything because sure, it's got background music, but anything important is shown in text. I really, out of all of the ones that I have played thus far, and I'm still going through some of them, Trust is my number 1 out of the entire accessibility jam.
You know what the ending is?
I hope it's me getting out of a castle and a piece of cake.
It actually turns out that your Pac-Man and the ghosts are all there to eat you. Boom! I just
serious for a second.
Shyamalan.
Just like, I know exactly. Oh, he knows what he's talking about. Nope.
I just Shyamalan'd all over that bitch. And you know what that means? That means I'm starting the riot. Oh! And this week on, I almost said the name of the game. This week the game that is starting the riot is Stick It to the Man. I actually did a Let's Play of this probably a couple months ago, maybe longer. I don't know. Time's kind of all blending in for me right now.
It happens.
You're a time traveler.
Yeah, I am the doctor. Stick It to the Man is a game that is developed by Zoink Games. It's a studio based in Sweden. Before this game, all they really ever made were iOS games and things like that, and they did a little bit of like advertising and things like that. But I gotta say, for a debut, this game is fantastic. You can find the game on. It's not like a game you can buy off the shelf. It's downloadable only. It's got like I actually don't know. I don't think it's on Xbox Arcade. It's on
PS4.
It's on PlayStation Network. It's on Steam.
It's on Wii U.
Yeah, Wii U. Yeah, you're right. And actually, they were before the Steam release. They were kind enough to give me a free code of it so I could show it off, and as well as some free like swag and stuff, which I will eventually show in a vlog on my own Let's Play channel. But
so what you're saying is they bribed you to add this to
No, because if it was,
I've seen it. It actually looks like a cool game.
If
Josh
it was
is
terrible,
lying to you.
yeah, if it was terrible, I wouldn't be talking about it. I will say actually though that there were, especially towards the end, there were a couple parts where I got incredibly mad. I was like rage quitting ready, but because I got stuck in some parts. But the majority of the game, it was fine. It's a puzzle platformer, and the unique thing about it is that. It's called Stick It to the Man. It's a double entendre. It's not sexual, but you know what I mean. It's a double meaning, and basically Stick It to the Man because you're basically sticking it to the man. And as a matter of fact, the main antagonist in the game his name is the Man. They call him Mr. the Man.
Mr. the Man.
Yeah. Even his mom calls him the Man. So that's I guess what's on his birth certificate. And then also, it's Stick It to the Man because the whole game is made up of cardboard and stickers, and the puzzle aspect comes into it through those stickers, where you can tear off stickers out of the environment or out of people's thoughts or things like that. It'll show up. You tear it off with this big old. You remember those, like, especially back in the 90s, like sticky hand things that you can throw against the wall and like pull it back with like a.
That you'd get at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, you get out of like the quarter machines.
The other place, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like one of those things sticking out of its head. The whole plot revolves around that hand sticking out of its head. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but basically he gets this power to take things out of people's thoughts or out of the environment and use it to solve people's problems, which allows him to progress through the story. And it was really innovative and really cool. And I know there's another game that's kind of similar to it now for PS Vita, I think, called Tearaway or something like that, or something to that. I don't remember the name. But this game, on top of that, what really impressed me too was the humor in it was really made me laugh quite a bit. It was actually, for a game that looked so lighthearted, there were a couple times where I was like, oh man, that's a little heavy.
I definitely just kind of looking over it. I really like the art direction for it. It kind of has that to me a more nostalgic feel. Almost the Ren and Stimpy is what it almost harkens back to.
Oh yeah. I can kind of see that. Yeah, and actually I know a lot of the voice actors in there through voice acting. And Tech, you probably know some too.
Yeah.
Kim Lin Tran, is in there,
Yep.
and a couple others. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but
Right, there are a few of them that we know.
yeah. So that was kind of cool too to hear their work in it. So maybe that might have been pushing me a little bit even higher towards the fact that why I liked it so much.
But the voice acting is really good.
it is really good.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's not like, oh, we know these people. Oh, yeah, the voice acting's great, and it really sucks. But no, it's actually like I just whistled. That was weird. The voice acting in this game is, I think, one reason why this game really stands out above a lot of other ones, because now you're getting 2D platformers that are like, oh, hey, we made a 2D platformer. Look at these mechanics. Oh, but you're gonna have to read all this text.
Yeah.
Like, all the jokes are going to be, like, text-based, and all the
Well, they
timing
can't
is going to
afford-
be lost for you.
They
Yeah,
can't
exactly.
afford the voice acting, but these
Yeah.
guys, like I said, they have a company that was doing stuff before, so they probably had some funding for it.
Right,
Plus,
which I think is good.
plus their publisher, I think, helped out a lot. Ripstone is the publisher of it. And what was I going to say? Oh, I'm really looking forward to what they have to next. I mean, this is, like I said, their debut console type of game. I mean, like I said, it's not like off the shelf, but it's not an iOS game like they've made before. This is their first try at something bigger and something with more chutzpah.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why. I knew you were going to say that.
Cojones. That's what I'm saying.
There's another one, yeah.
Yeah. Any questions about this game?
Yeah, how much does it cost?
It is currently $14.90. Wait. I believe it's
Worth it.
$15. Yeah,
It's basically $15.
$15. Just say that.
That's not bad.
It goes on sale every so often.
How many hours of gameplay did you get out of it?
How many hours of gameplay did I get out of it?
Yeah.
If you're including the rage, the parts where I got stuck.
Yes.
I would say 15 to 20 hours.
Oh, that's really great.
I was probably closer to 15, really.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's not. It is just. It's not like a full console game. It is just a
Right.
downloadable
It's an arcade
game.
type.
Yeah.
I think it's really good that they made it hard enough for you to actually be challenged by it, though.
The puzzles weren't what was hard. I mean, there were actually some puzzles there. I was like, what the hell do I do? But what made me rage was the platforming part. I'm not good at platforming in the first place, but
Right.
but they not only was there platforming, but there were enemies that you had to avoid.
Oh.
And that
Like
kind
the
of
man.
well, the man you don't really face off against until later on, but like he has like cronies, you know what I mean? Like just coming after you, and you have to find ways around them. There's a little bit of a puzzle aspect with that because you have to. There's ways that you can rip off stickers to make them sleep, or or make them distracted.
That's really cool.
Yeah, or you can make them distracted and things like that. But I was terrible at it, so I would end up just getting angry because I'm like, they keep catching me, and I have to start over. It was, you see it in the videos, if you ever watch it, but that a lot of that was probably me. There were a couple things I think, there was a couple times where, basically the hand also has the power to read minds, which is how you get stuff out of their thoughts. So you read their mind, and then a little thought bubble will pop up. And for instance, to make them sleep, they're like, oh man, I'm so tired, and then there will be Z's above them. You grab the Z's, and then you can use those Z's on whichever of the henchmen that are in that particular stage to make them sleep. You have to use it on the right one, to get past the whole group. And I would use it, and then you'd be running, and then you'd try, and there'd be these little thumbtacks as well that your hand could grab onto and make you swing to different platforms.
Okay.
And at one point there was one of the henchmen standing right beneath one of those thumbtacks, and every single time I tried to read his thoughts or grab the Z out of his thought bubble, I would accidentally grab onto the thumbtack and swing right up into his face. And I don't know how many times I did that. So there were little things like that. I was like, come on. But like I said, most of the rage was probably my fault. So I just suck at platforming.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like games like that.
Yeah. Well, if there's no other thoughts on that, I
Rev was
think...
going to say something.
Oh, well...
I'm sorry. I was drinking some beer. I was commenting on in my head. It seems relatively well recommended by a lot of people. GameSpot, being the odd one out, gave it a average score.
Yeah, but can we really trust GameSpot? I mean,
no, that's what I'm saying. They gave it average. They gave it a 7 out of 10.
I'm actually usually I won't go into it. It's not what it is. I'm not going to naysay on any game reviewed sites.
Yeah.
I get into arguments with people all the time because when I do reviews of games, I don't give a score. You know, people are like, "Oh, what is it out of 10?" It's like I can't do that because what if this particular game is like a 2 out of 10 for me, but the exact same game with a different voice actor is suddenly a 10 out of 10. Reviewing games and judging them like that that's too clinical for such a subjective experience.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very relative to the person.
Yeah, or it's like, oh well, I gave this platformer that I loved a 4. Oh God, but I like this platformer too, but it's better. But I don't want to give it a 5. Oh God, what do I do?
Yeah.
Do I give that old one a 3?
Yeah. No, much too clinical for the subjective nature.
Very arbitrary.
Yeah, and what I'm looking at for this one, I seem to the humor aspect of it kind of tags me correctly. The art definitely tags me correctly, and it looks like one that I would be interested in playing. I'm gonna have to see if I can fit this one into my budget.
I'm gonna live vicariously through Josh and view his place again. So.
Yeah, more views. Okay. Speaking of games that Rev is interested in, I believe we have a game up for Peep Show that I'm actually really surprised he wants to play.
Yeah, same.
So let's go to Peep Show.
Please give all your attention to Early Access.
I want to talk about a survival suspense.
You want to talk about a horse?
Yes, a horse. A horse named The Forest. No, just kidding.
Is it going to win Preakness?
I don't know. Is that coming up?
I don't know.
when's the Triple Crown?
Probably.
I know some of my friends that listen to the podcast are also horse racy type people, so let us know. Yeah, whatever. It's a horse race. No. My money, see what I did there? My money is on a horse called The Forest. This is as I mentioned in the intro, it's kind of loosely, I kind of got a Lost vibe from it, by which I mean the television show. What we do know about it right this moment is that you are the apparently only survivor of a plane crash. You find yourself in a forest, and there's nearby lake, there's mountains, etc. It is a open worldish sandboxian type game where you need to find out what's going on and can you survive an entire society of cannibalistic mutants.
I wish Lost had cannibals in it.
That'd be really cool.
I wish that would have been. Them all being eaten would have been a much better ending than what there was. That's neither here nor there.
It would have given a really good like Indiana Jones feel to it. You know, like
Galima.
Like start the engines.
Yeah.
It's probably not as this game probably isn't as action packed as that, but.
Well, I don't know. Looking through some of the videos, and I apologize, I have yet to actually play this. Because
steep price for an early access game.
It is a bit of a steep price. It is $15.
I've seen heavier than that.
I'm sorry?
I've seen ones that go up for $20-$25.
Well, yeah, but those are high too.
I would say those
like
are
like
high.
like the next car game. That's like a freaking tech demo, and they want like $30 for that.
Well, to be fair, is that the release price of the game?
No, I don't think so.
We don't know yet.
Right, because depending on like release prices, maybe you're getting it at a deal. But I don't know. For a full game, $15 is fine. So I guess I shouldn't be complaining.
Yeah,
especially for the scope of this one. If you want to kind of get an idea as to what it is, it's a first-person perspective, kind of like a cross between Don't Starve and Left 4 Dead. Is kind of what I'm getting.
Actually, well, I think this is closer resembling, not to change up what you're saying, but I think it closely resembles a cross between Rust, those games like Rust and DayZ. Or is it DayZ? Yeah, DayZ.
Yeah, DayZ.
Rust and DayZ and Minecraft, because there's a lot of crafting in this, and it's like a survival, like not including the cannibal horror part of it, but it's a survival type of game.
So it's kind of like horror Minecraft.
It's like horror Rust.
Horror.
Oh, okay.
I haven't played Rust, so I can't comment on that. But it's kind of like I get from the games that are percolating in my head. I could see the Minecraftian aspect. I want to say Lovecraft every time I add that.
Yeah.
The Minecraftian aspect. I get a Don't Starve vibe, and I don't get as much. Like you're building traps, and what we can see, or what I've been able to see of the crafting system and the building system is a bit less complex than say Minecraft's. From my experience, like you build up your walls and you can build up your cabin, but it's basically, you lay out the outline and then you run up to it with the supplies that you've gathered and put it in, and yay, it gets built that way. As opposed
That's kind of nice though, because we've already seen you have the Minecraft way of crafting things, and you have the Terraria way of crafting things. And to be fair, the Don't Starve way of crafting things is similar to the Terraria
basically
way. But
yeah, so
that's kind of nice. That seems new.
And yeah, it seems a bit new. There's it's definitely buggy. I want to make this clear. It is barely alpha. It is alpha 0.01 build of the game. So there are certain things that will crop up that you will just absolutely shake your head. You go into your shelter, you build a little lean-to in the forest, and all of a sudden you get launched into the stratosphere and then fall to the earth and die.
But that's kind of charming. That's like one of those things that's funny.
It's not like, my save game corrupted and I have to reinstall all the game stuff.
Actually, they released an update to fix a save game corruption. Apparently, the registry limits were interacting with that, so saves were being truncated. You were unable to save your game, so you had one life. You could do what you could do.
Hardcore.
Yeah,
and I think though that what you said earlier before the show, that they're being very forthcoming with these bugs. And obviously, like you said, it's an alpha. The very, very, very first alpha build, and I think even for an alpha build, I think first of all, those bugs I think are excusable at this point.
Oh, definitely.
But the fact that what there is in the game already, it's a very, I mean, it's not complete, but it's a very full game for being that early.
You can actually play it.
Yeah. You can play through it and build stuff and go hunting and all of that fun stuff. And they've been actually pretty Johnny on the spot. They've had 3 updates in the last 3 days as of today.
Wow.
Like they pushed out one today, they pushed out one yesterday, and they pushed out a bigger one that bumped it. I'm sorry, it's now alpha version 0.01b. They got pushed out on the 4th of June.
I was going to say how big. It was like just bug fixes, or are they actually adding stuff?
Well, the one today and yesterday were some minor issues. The one today fixed the saves being screwed up by the registry. The one yesterday was a quick fix that inventory items weren't showing up in inventory after you saved, and some platforms and tree holding things weren't saving. And then the one on the 4th was they called it their first small update, but they fixed the texture issue for the ocean. They fixed the missing detail for the cliff. They removed the development pointing out lights for cave creatures, improved performance on some issues. So it was definitely some bug fixes. They had a list of like 15, 20 things that went through that seemed to be pretty important.
And some notes to people who actually who care about some of this stuff. But it is survival horror. There's some gore in it. Like limbs being chopped off and stuff like that. There are also boobies. The female cannibals are shirtless. Obviously,
that's gonna be real fun to post on YouTube.
They're not wearing Abercrombie over here.
But to be fair, wearing Abercrombie would be very close.
Yeah, true story. But that's how I knew that there was nudity in it, because I saw a YouTube video and they didn't censor it out. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder how YouTube's going to handle this, because I've heard like even big YouTubers aren't safe from that sort of thing. Yeah. I've heard people.
I know Milby got hit. Milby is a Minecraft. He mostly does Minecraft LPs. He's from Europe, and he gotten pretty hard because he was playing. Oh God, what was that game? It was a survival horror game that had.
I forget who it was, but there was a big YouTuber. I don't think it was him, but there was a big YouTuber that played something, and like they were just like a quick flash of boobs or something like that, and then his channel got shut down for like 3 weeks. And it's a little ridiculous. So if you are going to Let's Play this game, if you want to buy it and support it and try it out, and if you think you're going to Let's Play it, just be aware that there are boobs.
And apparently there is a wang. There is an apparent
just one
prominent wang.
It's just one wang, and it's the almighty wang that the cannibals worship.
It is actually rather center screen and pretty big in the beginning of the.
All hail the wang.
That was unintentional, but yes, it features in the opening cutscene apparently. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this. Not necessarily so much to find out and fight the mutants, but they're saying that once they release the complete version, they're going to be working on a co-op for this. They're going to have what we've come to term as the peaceful mode from Minecraft, where it's you just try and survive. You don't have to fight the mutant cannibals.
Well, without the mutant cannibals, then it's just basically Rust without the obnoxious PvP.
Okay, but I don't know.
No, that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. The PvP sucks. It's just.
So yeah, they're being like I said, Johnny on the spot. They're doing some work with doing guides. They're interacting with their people that are following it, and I really want to try this out. I'm actually, as I was reading over this a couple days back, I'm waiting for a response back from the developer to see if I can't get a free copy for review purposes. But otherwise, I'm going to be throwing in. It's not super expensive. It really isn't. It's only $15.
I just spent $15 on a free-to-play game. So.
I think. Jeez, you should be ashamed of yourself. Anyway,
I've logged more than 200 hours on this game.
I think $15 for as complete as it is. I think $15 is worth it. And that's rare that I would say that about an early access game, especially this early access. Yeah. So, go give it a try, I would say.
I would agree.
Yeah. Well, unless you guys have anything else to say. By the way, just real quick, I forget if you said it, but the developer is End Night Games Ltd.
Oh. Yep, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My wife was writing at me, what do we want on our pizza? So
I would like pepperoni. And
Games, it's going to be for PC and Oculus Rift.
Oh man, Oculus.
Yeah.
Oh, the jungle whipping at your face.
And it's being built in Unity 4. So
and speaking of, since you're getting me free pizza, speaking of free things. Man, I'm on the ball with these transitions.
These segues today.
Oh yeah, we're moving on to free fun.
All right, everybody, this week for free fun, we have a game that was just recently released as a full standalone version. It is called Fistful of Frags. Now, Fistful of Frags was originally a source engine mod for Half-Life 2 that ran on the source engine, and it is a Western arena Twitch shooter. Basically, you are a Western person. You can either play yes, you are. You can either play Rangers, Vigilantes, Desperados, or oh god, the Mexicans. I can't remember what they're called.
Banditos?
Banditos. There you go.
Oh, I was totally guessing.
No, that's what they're called. No, and basically it's the reason why I say it's a Twitch arena shooter is because the levels are relatively small. You're constantly moving. You have to adjust for your gun's accuracy, and a lot of these guns, which is what really switches it up, they're all Western era guns. So you have single action revolvers that don't just shoot every single time you shoot. They have cooldown times and very heavy recoils, but you can like fan them and playing with the accuracy, with the movement, and understanding the maps and getting the proper shots on your enemy in this multiplayer only shooter has given me hours of fun that I was never expecting I would get from a free game that, although it looks very cartoony, looks really awesome.
And most importantly, it's free.
It is free.
So how many hours have you put into this?
12.
About 12 hours? Okay.
Ain't
Well, no,
nothing
that's realistic. I mean, I put about the same amount into a AAA game just recently, and are you still interested?
You also have to understand that this is more like it's kind of like Team Fortress 2.
Okay.
It's a little less objective based, where you'll have a leaderboard, but really it's just, but no one really wins at the end. It's just, get kills. Try to find the best guns on the map, kill everybody you see, work together as a team to, put down people around you. And it's a really fun game to play with friends. I find that it's like, I'll play it alone, and I've gotten actually really good at it, and I'm kind of surprised myself how good I am at it sometimes. But it's really fun to play with other people where you're like, I just shot you in the head, what are you going to do about it? And
do you know what the name of the game, Fistful of Frags, has anything to do with Western?
Fistful of Dollars?
Frags?
Oh.
I don't know.
No, I think it's punning off of.
Well, I know the Western Fistful of Dollars, or something like that.
I think that's what they're punning off of. It's just you're going murder hobo, so AKA a frag.
Yeah, and you also have a lot of explosives that you can use in the game, which is another element that.
I'm thinking like frag grenades, which didn't exist in the West.
Well, you can get sticks of dynamite.
Well, I guess that's true.
And they call kills frags in the game.
Okay.
Harkening back to the old Quake Arena type stuff. So
yeah.
All right. Well,
I can get behind that.
Download it. It's free. There's no reason why you shouldn't be playing it.
I like, and then you can play with Tekno. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I like that we're doing something a little bit different for Free Fun too, because a lot of times we do stuff that's like browser based or download off a Game Jolt or something like this. This is like a free, not an MMO, but a free multiplayer. It's on Steam. Yeah, free to play multiplayer Steam game. So that's interesting.
Out of curiosity, Tech, you've been the one that's played this. How is it for like does the physics engine is that kind of more the cartoony floaty type or?
To be perfectly honest, everything feels right. I will say that some of the jumps, the gravity feels really realistic, but you can make fairly large jumps. It is a very cartoony game. As you can see by a lot of the graphics. Unfortunately, to get the best experience, you really want to play the game because a lot of the media that they have is from when the game was just a Half-Life 2 mod.
Yeah,
gotcha.
But I really like the physics with it because you actually can kick people and they'll fly a little bit, and it's not like super fast flying, but it'll get them out of your way just enough. And after you sort of play around with it and get your mouse sensitivity fixed up and really understand the accuracy between your left hand and your right hand, it works out.
Okay,
cool.
It feels pretty natural.
again, you guys joke about how I don't have a life, but then we talk about games like this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna, and then I spend hours and hours and hours stuck in a game.
And then you really don't have a life because you're just playing a game. Well, you know what you can do in your real life? Just chalk that one up to another transition there.
Yeah.
You can check us out on our various social networks and et cetera, et cetera. First of all, because this is, by the way, the end of the show after that free game.
Yeah.
If you didn't know. So after this show is over, you can, first of all, if you're not watching us or listening on YouTube, the show is mainly hosted on YouTube on my channel. It's youtube.com/JaShinYa Gaming. You spell JaShinYa by putting this into your keyboard, JaShinya, and then, of course, gaming, all one word. You can also find us on Twitter at IGR Podcast, Facebook.com/IGR Podcast if you'd rather do it on Facebook. We also have a Reddit community for you to discuss the topics and games that we talk about in the show in deeper fashion, or you can just talk about the show in general, whatever. It's a cool community. It's very chill. That is reddit.com/r/Indie Game Riot. Our website for the time being is igrpodcast.webs.com. You can contact us on there, or you can just contact us directly by emailing me at JaShinYaGaming@gmail.com.
And he passed that on to us, so...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We all of us always hear everything. And remember, if you are a game developer and you want us to play your game, we can't guarantee that it will get on the show, but you can always either email Josh, give us a post on the subreddit, or leave a comment down below this video on YouTube, and we will get in contact with you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and ladies and gentlemen that are on the show with me,
Indeed.
However you want to identify, it's cool.
Gender fluid, dang it.
I would like you all to say your goodbyes.
I will see you next week.
Yep, I will be busy next week, but I'll still see you guys.
Toodles! See ya. You guys ready, sir?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I love you.